everyone, my name is Nicole Green, founder of Motivating Young Moms, and now Moms Who Made It YouTube channel. Today I'm so excited for so many reasons. One, it is our first episode, and two, I'm here with our lovely guest, Miss Tiffany Wilson. I say it's exciting and special because one, I'm stepping out of my comfort zone and starting something that I never imagined, and I'm bringing Tiffany along on this journey with me.
Yes.
when Motivating Young Moms launched back in 2014, Tiffany was also our guest speaker.
Yes.
So it's kind of like it's going on like a tradition for MYM and now Moms Who Made It. So I'm really excited about this, and I'm praying and hoping that everyone that's watching, you're going to enjoy the conversation. So I'm going to read Tiffany's bio, and then we're going to dive on into some good stuff. So Tiffany Wilson, whom has a Master in Divinity.
Master of Divinity.
Mm-hmm. She is also known as a Coach Tiffany. She's a celebrated speaker, author, and the curator and founder of TiffyTalks. In case you have not seen or heard of TiffyTalks, make sure that you look that up.
Yes.
It's an amazing platform, and I've been along the ride since day one. Tiffany, she coaches women of faith, especially singles, using biblical principles and real-world counsel to address the doubts, fears, and real-life pains, preventing singles from becoming and attracting what they desire most. So, Tiffany, when I read your bio the first time, what kind of stuck out to me was preventing singles from becoming and attracting what they desire the most.
Yeah.
So can you
break that down?
Yeah, break that down for me so I can understand what that really means.
So I really think that if you aren't enjoying yourself, right, and appreciating yourself and loving yourself, then that is there's no way that you can mask that.
Right.
Right? So you're going to attract people that more than likely aren't into you, are unavailable, that you have to kind of chase and coach, you know what I mean? Whereas if you're confident and you're comfortable in your skin, and no, you're not going to be in love with being single all the time,
right.
But I want to make sure you're in love with yourself, and not in a
Absolutely.
narcissistic way,
Okay.
but, you know.
I like that.
Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying that. I just was like, preventing singles from, okay.
Yeah.
So we jumped way ahead. That was supposed to have been at the end. But I just needed clarification on that before we started talking and things like that. So I know I just read your bio, so can you kind of give us some insight on Tiffany and your history, seeing that, you know, we're talking to our young moms today, and we really want to encourage and inspire you guys to continue with whatever your heart desires. So, Tiffany, you're a former young mom.
Absolutely.
So, can you tell us, like, what happened?
Wow.
What happened, when it happened, how it happened?
Right. So my daughter's a young adult now, so she's grown, but I had a teenage love. I always tell a story about how we had matching members-only leather jackets.
Oh my God.
Yeah, remember that, right? So I'm an 80s girl. His was blue, mine was red. But anyways, so really it went from teenager love to 3 months 3 months later, I'm pregnant. And so, so my daughter, her name is Deja. I was pregnant at 14, had her at 15. And man, it was scary. It was scary. I don't like to, paint the picture that yes, you'll make it through,
Yeah.
but I like to make it really clear that it is a huge responsibility.
Yeah.
That children, they just don't go away. And my daughter is grown. We don't even live in the same city, but she's still my daughter. And,
right.
You know, and so I'm still her parent to a certain, you know. Well, I'll always be a parent, but it's just different. But yeah, being a teenage mom was, so it was tough, but then there's a side that I'm clear that had I not had my daughter, I don't really know who I'd be because I don't have anything else to kind of go to. So having her stirred up this courage, I guess, within me to like to go for it, because I was like, I don't want to eat hot dogs for the rest of my life. That's really what I thought. I think one of your questions that you sent was like, did you have a plan? No, the plan was we're not going to do hot dogs. We're not doing hot dogs for the rest of our life.
No hot dogs.
No hot dogs. Like that was really it. And sometimes it's not this 5-year plan or 15-year plan. It was just this one thing that was in my mind. We're not going to do hot dogs for the rest of our life, and I want to be able to eat whatever I want. And that was it. And so I was just like grabbing things and speaking to people and meeting people and taking them up on their offer to help me. You know, I didn't mind saying, yeah, I need help.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And so yeah.
So pride was out the window.
Pride was definitely out the window.
Right. So walk us through the years 18 and 19. So where were you?
So 18, 19, I'm in undergrad. I'm the first person in my family to go to college, or should I say to finish. I think an aunt and an uncle went but didn't finish. And so I would drag my daughter to school. They knew her on campus. I went to UMass Boston. I remember I had a psychology teacher that would give me a hard time, you know, but most of my professors were welcoming because I was rare. They were like, wow, she's, you know, she's serious.
Right.
Right? And so we're talking about, gosh, when was that? Early 90s. And I would bring a coloring book or paper, plain paper, and to keep her doodling. And I would take my notes, you know. Gosh, I worked at Work Study. I worked at Caldor. Remember Caldor? It was like a department store way back in the day. I didn't last too long, but I had multiple jobs. I had an extended family that helped.
You had your village.
Yeah, definitely. I needed my village. There's no way, you know, I would have made it. Not through college. It would have just been so difficult.
Right.
You know, I needed someone to help. Multiple people, actually. No, wait, I want to share something because I don't think I've shared this, but you're talking about 18, 19. So I left home at 17. Never went back. And my daughter and I were in a shelter for a little while. And that was interesting. My daughter remembers that to this day. She remembers that experience. And I remember they would have these workshops in the shelter. And a woman came to speak, you know, a middle-aged African-American woman. And she's like, well, who do you put first? And everybody in the room's like, we kids, you know, what are you doing? We put our kids first. You know, everybody's like, my baby comes first.
Right.
And she's like, well, then it's going to be a tough ride for you because you got to put yourself first. So that way you can take care of you so you can take care of your children. That never left me.
But that makes sense.
Yeah, and I didn't get it in that moment though. But it stuck with me. I got it later.
Me and Tiffany have a special history and a special bond. And I feel like this week I'm learning more about this bond. I forgot to mention in the beginning, but I met Tiffany years ago when we first joined church, and we were going to new membership classes. And one evening we were in the parking lot and we were talking, and we found out that we have a lot in common. We both moved to Philadelphia. Neither one of us is from here, and both of our daughters' names are Deja. And just recently, like, you know, I just found out that you moved out at 17. I moved out at 17, and thank God have not returned.
Right.
But I used to also take Deja to school with me. I remember vividly having her next to me in my anthropology class on Saturday morning.
Mine was psychology.
So it's crazy how we met like years and years ago, and we've done different things, but we still find a way to connect and have a lot in common.
Yeah.
Ironically.
Yeah.
And my best friend, her name is Tiffany.
Oh.
14, 15, pregnant, had the baby. You're in school, you're taking her to classes. So how did you get to Pennsylvania from Boston?
I really believe that was a part of the calling of my life. I had no intention of ever leaving home. Like I said, I went to UMass Boston. I didn't, travel to go to school, and very close to my family. But I was in a relationship at the time. My daughter was in middle school, and was she in middle school? She was in middle school, and I lost my job. So I was working for a .com.
So wait, before you moved to Pennsylvania?
Yeah, I lost my job.
Something else we have in common.
Yeah, I was working for part of that .com era. It was a lot of fun. Made a lot of money quick, but then once those .coms ran out of money, you lost your job basically. So that happened to me, and I did a lot of sitting around, thinking. I would go to the beach a lot, and journaling. Like, was I writing? I might have been writing a little bit, but I definitely felt I was doing a lot of reflecting. And one day I'm like on the computer. I was like, I'm gonna get rich. I'm still looking for ways to not worry about what I'm gonna eat. And so I'm looking up Realtor.com, and I'm searching for houses in Philadelphia, which made no sense because I had no friends or any family here. And in my head, it was like, I'm going, why are the houses so cheap in Philly? That was the first thing.
Compared to Boston?
Oh yes, Boston's like New York, San Francisco. And
okay.
so I was like, why are they so cheap? And then I'm going to Philly, get these properties and make this money, right? And then the thought left. I go to a job fair, and Philip Morris is there. I walked past because I know it's tobacco, and I was like, I'm good on tobacco, to be honest. And the recruiter came out of the booth area and grabbed me and was like, hey, come on over here and talk to us. And so I was like, no, you're not paying enough, and they weren't. He said, but if you take this interview, you'll be making as much as you made. Give us 2 years, and you'll be making more than what you were making. And so I said, okay.
So wait, let's take a pause there, because I know people are going to be wondering, how much was she making? So before you lost your job?
Before I lost my job, I was pushing 60. I think I went from, I said it the other day, from welfare to wow.
Yeah.
So that was a lot for a girl like me, humble beginnings, on welfare.
In your 20s?
In my 20s. Yeah, I think I was pushing 60 something. Yeah. So, I took a pay decrease to take the job, but it wasn't just that. So there's a moment which I discuss I mentioned in my book, that I was on the highway because I interviewed for the position out. I thought it was going to be in Philadelphia because remember, Philly was always the goal, but it was Harrisburg. And I was like, where's Harrisburg? I didn't even know. I was like, no bus on Harrisburg. Well, where is it? Like, I had to look it up. And I was like, I'm a city girl,
Yeah.
And so I'm in the car, the boyfriend came down with me, and I'm standing on the highway. Literally, I'm on like the turnpike, Pennsylvania Turnpike. And I'm standing there, I'm looking at the car, I'm looking at him, and I'm like, my gut it was something in my stomach. It was just like, this is it. You got to take this. You can't go back home.
Wow.
And I just listened. I listened to that feeling. And that's how I ended up in Pennsylvania.
So tell us about how and why you started to get engaged. And did you get engaged before TiffyTalks, or did TiffyTalks come before getting engaged?
So the pull that I felt on that highway, I believe that was the beginning of the get engaged process for me. I wasn't conscious though. So I always just did these big things, and sometimes without a lot of thought. And so I had saved all this money, get to Harrisburg. My daughter's with her dad, so I can go and set up, make sure everything's okay, right? And then she's going to come to start 9th grade, to start high school. So in my mind, I'm like, this is perfect. But I buy a house. I buy a house in Harrisburg within 30 days. It was bad.
Wait, within 30 days of moving
to Harrisburg.
Wow.
It was gorgeous, by the way. It was like a brownstone on 2nd Street, as soon as you come into the city. But it was a bad decision. And so I learned from that. But in that house, I would cry a lot. I had to face the fact that my daughter and I we weren't estranged, but all my doing and all my getting and all my trying to achieve and get us out of poverty, I dropped the ball a little bit on her. I really did. I dropped the ball a little bit on our relationship. And but once we were in Harrisburg and it's just she and I had to face her. I had to face the truth. And I started talking to God. I journaled from the day I left Boston. In the airport, I started journaling. And I would say things like, I know I have a purpose. There's something bigger for me. I did not know God. I did not. It makes no sense why I was speaking that way. So it's very divine. And I believe that it's in those moments when the noise stops, right? Because now I don't have family. I can't escape to my grandparents on the weekend.
It's all on you.
It's all on me. I can't call my girls up like, let's hang out. I had to face myself. I had to face my child. And the God, God was confronting me. And so that was the start. Harrisburg was a bummer in a lot of ways, but it was a blessing. Yeah, it was a blessing. I needed it.
When did you start TiffyTalks, and why? So I want to share with you guys. Get engaged with yourself, and when. At first I was like, is she talking about marriage?
Right.
But then quickly I realized what you were sending as a message. You gave us, the background and your emotions and what you felt getting pregnant at 14, having a baby at 15, moving out at 17, and still fighting and still trying to, excel or become accomplished and successful.
Yes.
For Tiffany.
Yes.
Right? So who is Get Engaged for?
So Get Engaged it really is for everyone. It's definitely for everyone, but who is my target is women in particular. So because we deal with a lot of pressure to get things done.
Oh my God. Yes.
You know, so to get things done for our children, to get things done at work, to get things done with our girlfriends, it's always something going on. And when do we have time to kind of reflect, to know thyself, to understand our own needs and desires? So that I'm super, super passionate about it, because I think if we don't get engaged, some of us will get sick, some of us will get depressed, some of us will get lost, to not be found. You know, and I care about that, and I think that by just stopping, even if it's, you know, practicing quiet time on a Sunday, right? Get engaged is all just slowing it down some and really tuning inward, you know, like what is really going on with you,
right?
You know.
So I read the book, I loved it.
Thank you.
It really made me look at Nicole, self-reflect. Like, I try to do a lot of that just to see where I am in life. See if I'm on this so-called path that I try to set out for myself, even though it's not my path, it's God's path.
Right.
That's, you know, that's funny. What would you tell 14-year-old Tiffany today?
Ooh. 14-year-old Tiffany would use protection. She would be using protection. My daughter's father was very popular, very handsome guy. Use protection and enjoy being a young person. Even with crap that's going on around you, maybe there's crap going on in your home, but go outside and play. Just go outside and play, because my life as a youth, there was a lot of fun there. You know, when you just go and get your friends, we didn't have cell phones and all that.
Right.
We would literally knock on doors, or they'd yell up at my porch.
Media.
Yeah. They'd be like, Tiffany, can you come out? You know, it was so much fun. And then it went from, you know, now I'm looking at the boys and they're looking at me, and the pressure. Just have fun and have friends.
It's so weird today. Like, now the 13, 14, and 15-year-old girls, they're so different than how it was back when we were 13, 14, and 15. Like, I don't even know if kids even go outside anymore. Like, just the world is different.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say just the kids, but the world is different.
I think they go outside, but they might be on their phone, like, you know.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. So I don't know what they're doing when they go outside. That's the question. Are they creating? We used to have to make up a game.
Right.
We'd have to use skills,
Yeah.
right? Bartering and negotiation.
Oh my God.
You know.
Those were the good days.
Those were the good old days. You have to pick your team. You know what I mean? You have to be strategic. You know.
And riding bikes and.
Yeah. Not to say that these young people aren't, but the pressure to even like arched eyebrows and these things that, you know, I didn't think about my eyebrows. I was a late bloomer. Even though I had my daughter young, I was still a late bloomer. I didn't get my eyebrows done until probably my 20s. I was really late. So it's like, I see young girls now and they're decked out. It's like, what do they have to look forward to?
Right, yeah. What is some encouraging words you want to give our young moms that are out there today that's either pregnant and trying to figure out what I'm going to do, or that young mom that just had a baby and is still trying to get used to waking up every 3 hours to feed the baby and trying to function off of little to no sleep? Like, what is some encouraging words you want to give them?
There's so much in my head to say. My goodness. Create a space. So if it's your room, make that like that's your safe space, right, for you and your child. Because more than likely the baby's going to be in the room with you, right? Be grateful. Be grateful for what you have, and be okay with asking for help. So totally be okay with asking for help. Reach out to every single program possible. Right. Programs like yours. If it had not been for programs like yours, it would have been so much harder for me. There are people that sincerely are out there that get it. They're not trying to condemn you. They're not judging you. They're just trying to give you that hand up, okay, or that pull.
Right.
That point. I'm gonna point you here. Don't see it as, and even if they don't do it in the most loving way, right? Yeah. Get the help. Okay. You talked about pride and ego. Put the pride and ego aside. Yeah. Because you're in a vulnerable situation, and you need the resources. You need the resources.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I know for me, I had two mentors. One was my aunt, and the other one was a woman from a program that I was in. They gave me a mentor. My aunt, it was tough love. But I knew it was coming from a good, loving place. So that's why I took whatever she was giving me and just rolled with it. Thank you, Tiffany, so much for being our first guest.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
Blessing us with, just your story and your words of encouragement. Do you want to share with everyone where they can find you and if they want more information about you?
Yes, so you can go to TiffyTalks.com. That's TiffyTalks.com. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook at TiffyTalks. At TiffyTalks. Yeah.
Yes. At TiffyTalks.
At TiffyTalks.
So I am your host, Nicole Green. I hope you guys enjoy this conversation, and I hope you check back for more.